I'd just like to say hello and welcome to all of our participants from all over Latin America. It's a real pleasure to be here today. So today, what I'm planning to talk about is to give you a little bit of an overview of Mediatek's major business segments. You see 5 of them here. And to talk a little bit about the brands that we associate with those major segments of our business. Given that this is a mobile Congress, I'm sure you'll be spending a lot of time listening to and talking about our mobile business, which we brand with Mediatek Dimensity, which is our 5G smartphone sub-brand. But over the last year, we've also introduced numerous other brands, phylogic, Compagno, Pentonic, and Genie, to help people better understand our different segments and our different businesses. So, for example, phylogic is our brand for our Wi-Fi solutions. Compagno is our brand for Chromebooks, where we have the #1 ARM-based Chromebook supplier and the #2 Chromebook supplier overall. Pentonic is for our digital smart TVs, where Mediatek enjoys a strong #1 market share. And then the newest brand we've just introduced in the last couple of months is our Mediatek Genie brand for our AIoT solutions, which is really a growth and a new business segment for Mediatek going forward. Starting with the smartphones and the Dimensity brand, just to kind of give you a little bit of an update on news over the last year or so. In November of last year, Mediatek launched our first true flagship solution, the Mediatek Dimensity 9000, which appeared in a number of flagship devices in 2022. I think those of you that know Mediatek pretty well know that we've always had a very strong mobile market share. We've had a very strong entry into the 5G market. But in the past years, most of Mediatek's strong market share really came in entry and mid-tier devices. And so going forward, we have a much larger focus now also on the premium and the flagship tiers of the market. Mediatek took the #1 mobile SoC market share in the 3rd quarter of 2020, and we've maintained that position for the last quarters. And now we see growth opportunities in the higher tiers for us, both in the premium and in the flagship tier. For the premium devices, we also introduced earlier this year the Mediatek Dimensity 8000 and 8100 devices, which are really, we position them as sort of the little brother of the Dimensity 9000. And they bring really high levels of performance for that tier underneath the flagship device, which we call premium, or some people may refer to as sub-flagship. But you can see that we've integrated a lot of really cool technology that sort of cascades down from the flagship tier. So it does have a lot of capabilities in common on connectivity, the modem, on display, gaming, camera, multimedia features, where it has a lot of the same technology and a lot of the same IP, maybe with slightly reduced performance levels compared to the flagship devices. And like all of our high-end devices, this supports our Dimensity Open Resource Architecture, or DORA, which allows our customers and the OEMs to add their own differentiation to the platform. We've also continued over the last year to introduce new solutions for mainstream and entry devices. So for the mainstream 5G, we introduced the Dimensity 1050 and the new Dimensity 930. And even in the 4G market, earlier this year, we launched a new Helio G99. And that really, I think, signals that we believe that 4G LTE will continue to be an important solution and an important technology for many customers in many regions for many years to come. One of the things that's unique about that is we launched it in leading edge 6nm process technology, which of course improves the performance and power consumption, but also helps with supply constraints going forward, where there's more available capacity in some of those more advanced process nodes. The Mediatek Dimensity 1050 was an interesting device because this was Mediatek's first smartphone SoC to support integrated millimeter wave technology for 5G. Up to now, all of our 5G solutions have been based only on the sub-6 flavor of 5G. We announced this earlier this year. We were also delighted last month in August to announce with Motorola that they were adopting this device for US carriers, including with millimeter wave support. It's an advanced 6 nanometer product. As I mentioned, it supports both sub-6 and millimeter wave flavors of 5G, and also supports integration or aggregation across millimeter wave plus sub-6 5G. And again, much like the Dimensity 8000, we also cascade down some of the cool technology from the flagship. So this product has really nice multimedia capabilities, including some of the same camera IP that's in the flagship device that allows for really nice user experiences. Moving on to the second segment I wanted to talk about today is our Mediatek phylogic. And this is our brand for Mediatek's Wi-Fi solutions. Mediatek is probably the broadest provider of Wi-Fi solutions across all different applications. We have the broadest range of applications. We're also the #1 supplier of Wi-Fi solutions for retail, broadband, and consumer electronics products, things like smart TVs, set-top box, OTT. And you can see here in the slide, Mediatek shipped over 600 million chipsets for Wi-Fi last year in 2021. And more importantly, that doesn't even include our smartphone shipments. If you add in smartphone shipments, that number goes well over 1 billion units shipped in 2021, which is quite phenomenal. One of the hot topics right now in the Wi-Fi world is the transition from Wi-Fi 6 and 6E to Wi-Fi 7. I think we've all seen the impact of the pandemic over the last couple of years has really accelerated the need for more broadband, more networking, because many of us are working from home. You know, for a long time, many people were educating children at home. You know, obviously people were not going out and were entertaining themselves at home. So there was a need for more and more demand and more bandwidth. That has accelerated, I think, the adoption of Wi-Fi 6, 6E, and likely will accelerate the adoption of the next standard, Wi-Fi 7 as well. Mediatek is on the forefront of leading technology and delivering solutions for Wi-Fi 7. And earlier this year in May, we introduced our first chipsets that support the Wi-Fi 7 standard. Now, Wi-Fi 7 is going to, I think, show up in a lot of devices next year, 2023, early advanced devices. We expect it to get certified by the end of 23, and of course, become more mainstream then from 2024 and beyond. But we introduced our phylogic 880 chipset in May. This is our solution for high-end access points, routers and repeaters, operator broadband solutions for Wi-Fi 7. And it consists of an advanced 6 nanometer access point solution that implements the Wi-Fi 7 standard across tri-band. We can even combine 2 of them to support a pentaband operation up to 36 gigabits per second. And it supports all of the features of Wi-Fi 7, high order modulation, 320 megahertz bandwidth, etc. The other part of the platform is a host processor that consists of a quad-core Cortex-A73 with all of the capability for network offload, encryption, you know, access to Ethernet ports, etc. Also with built-in security and crypto engines. So that's the solution for access points. And at the same time, we also introduced the Mediatek phylogic 380, and that's our solution for client devices, because of course, to implement Wi-Fi 7, you need an end-to-end solution from the access point or the router to the client device, whether that be a smartphone, a PC notebook, a smart TV, or some other client device. This phylogic 380 supports tri-band, 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz, dual 2x2 radios for simultaneous operations, and can support peak data rates up to 6.5 gigabits per second for the client device. So again, huge uptick in the available bandwidth and data rates that's going to come with Wi-Fi 7 going forward. The third segment I wanted to talk about today quickly is our Mediatek Companion, which is our solution for Chromebooks. And we've seen a lot of success in Chromebooks, again, driven by the pandemic and a lot of children being educated at home over the past couple of years. But Mediatek has been investing in Chromebooks for many, many years. We have 3 series, more for entry, mainstream, or mid-range, and then one, the 1000 series, is for premium devices. And I think this is just one example, the Mediatek Companion 1380, which is our highest end premium solution for ARM-based Chromebooks. And you can see here, compared to the more traditional Intel x86, this is the Gen 11 i3 device that we're comparing with. The ARM-based solution from Mediatek will deliver faster multitasking, much longer battery life because of the low power capability, much faster for content editing, for game launching and other applications. So really, we think ARM-based solutions really are very, very disruptive and deliver the needs of users that want Chromebooks for high performance, but actually want also long battery life. The next segment I want to touch on is the Mediatek Pentonic brand, and this is our brand for our smart TV solutions. Mediatek enjoys a very strong #1 market share in smart TVs globally, shipping with almost all TV brands all over the world. And the Pentonic brand comes really from the fact that we have 5 pillars that are the basis for our TV brand. And those 5 pillars of technology are display, audio, AI, which is becoming much more important for things like picture quality, super resolution, and other enhancements on the TV, broadcasting, support for all the broadcast standards worldwide, and of course, connectivity, Wi-Fi predominantly for the smart TVs. At our executive summit last year in November, Mediatek launched the Pentonic 2000, which is our flagship TV solution. This is a super high-end 8K 120 hertz smart TV platform. It was also the first TV solution to use TSMC's advanced 7nm process. And just to give you a feeling, the CPU and the GPU performance on this platform are roughly 4 to 5 times more capable than leading mainstream 4K TV solutions today. So really, it's a quantum leap in terms of performance, both for the video 8K, both for the use cases like intelligent view, where you can have multiple screens for video conferencing, for watch parties, or even for watching multiple screens at the same time. Huge amount of technology and capability on AI and on picture quality enhancement to give the best possible viewing experience. And of course, it's a global platform supporting all the necessary standards. More recently, last month in August, we launched the Pentonic 700 solution. This is more aimed at mainstream, high-end mainstream 4K 120 hertz TV. So this is probably the sweet spot in terms of volume going forward. We also have built in a lot of capabilities into this chipset for gaming, which includes things like VRR, variable refresh rate, low latency use cases for 4K up to 144 hertz, which is important, obviously, for the gaming experience. But again, this solution continues to leverage a lot of the same technologies. So AI picture quality enhancements, the latest technology from Dolby Vision IQ with precision details, which continues to refine the picture quality, support for multiple picture-in-picture scenes, as I mentioned, gaming optimizations, as well as support for HDR10 and for the new video codec standard, versatile video codec, VVC, which is becoming more important for certain markets. For example, Brazil is planning to adopt this for their next TV3 standard going forward. So that's kind of exciting. And then finally, the last platform I wanted to mention today was our Mediatek Genie platform. So this is the latest addition to our new platforms that we're branding. Genie is our solution for our AIoT platforms, which is a new area of focus for Mediatek, really on a more broad range of applications across different consumer and industrial use cases. So it's a very fragmented, very broad range of applications that our customers are looking to develop solutions with. What's driving this is a lot of these applications are looking to add connectivity, multimedia, AI, camera and vision processing, audio processing, touch screens, and all those kind of features that are popular in some of our large markets. And we can leverage a lot of the same technology and deliver that solution to that broad range of customers. But we have to do it in a different way. So for example, we have to deliver a fully unified open software SDK using Android or Linux. That's quite standard. We've put a lot of focus on developer resources to make it accessible to third-party developers to also add unique differentiation and value on top of the platform. A partner ecosystem is also important. And finally, for these applications, we've committed to product longevity, both in terms of the silicon availability, but also the OS and security updates that are necessary for the long lives of products that we see in some of these IoT and industrial applications. So this is something we'll be talking a lot more about as we go forward, because it's a new area for us. And then I'll just wrap up with one last thought, because we introduced a new product again a couple of weeks ago in August, and that was the Mediatek TH30 platform that's shown here. And this is our next generation solution for 5G fixed wireless access points, routers, and mesh routers. I think there's been a lot of publicity recently about the use case of 5G beyond smartphones. And I think fixed wireless or 5G CPE equipment is becoming one of the proven use cases, where we're seeing strong adoption in US with Verizon and T-Mobile carriers deploying a lot of use cases, but also in Europe and in Japan and some other markets. And more recently, I think with India launching 5G, there's been talk as well of a large opportunity for fixed wireless going forward. So we think this is an exciting use case for 5G and something that will continue to grow in the coming years. This is our latest product. It's delivered in leading edge 4nm technology. And it delivers basically our release 16 M80 modem, our next generation 5G modem. It can deliver 5G speeds on sub-6 networks up to 7 gigabits per second. It can connect with our Mediatek phylogic solutions for the Wi-Fi access points, and is really a highly integrated solution containing both the 5G and the host processor for all of the network processing and use cases. So we think this is going to start to show up later next year in next generation 5G CPE equipment from various carriers worldwide. And so with that, I think I'm going to wrap up. I hope that gave you a quick overview of the main business segments at Mediatek, some of the new products we've announced in those segments over the last year that you'll start to see in products going forward from here, and also maybe introduce you to some of those new brands that Mediatek has introduced over the last year to help better define and differentiate our different segments of our business as our business continues to grow and expand. With that, let me wish you all a very successful Congress this year, and thank you for the opportunity of presenting today.